Welcome to the Money Mindful podcast, where money mindset and life coach Meaghan Jean Smith, hey, that's me, teaches you how to transform your relationship to money and achieve your life goals so you can live a glorious, magnificent, delicious, awesome life and love being you. Hello, gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful you. Welcome to the Money Mindful podcast. I am your host, Meaghan Jean Smith. All right, today we're going to be talking about my biggest money mistake and how you can avoid it. This is going to be huge. If you haven't already experienced this in your life, I reckon you will at some stage. So this is going to be a juicy episode for you. But before we get into that, I just wanted to tell you what is happening in the Money Mindful world. I am going to be running a live masterclass coming up in June. I don't have the dates finalized at the time that I'm recording this, but if you are interested in doing a money mindset masterclass with me live and getting support where you can get coached by me, I encourage you to keep an eye on your emails. And if you're not on my email list already, what is happening? Let's be friends. I send out emails every week. I don't send out hundreds of emails. I give you lots of juicy information in my emails, and you can get on my email list by signing up to any one of my free resources. And one of those free resources is actually the Money Mindset workbook that goes with the masterclass that I'm going to be running live. So you can right now purchase a recording of the masterclass from me at any time. That's always available to purchase, but I'm going to be running it live. And when you do purchase it, you are eligible to come to the live session at no additional cost to you. So I just wanted to give you the heads up that that is coming and that I will be releasing all the details and dates and all of that good stuff in my email and social media in the coming weeks or months, depending on what date this episode has been released. And I hope to see you there, because working on your money mindset is just the juiciest of juicy goodness that you can do when it comes to living a priceless life and not having any gunk or ickiness around money. The benefit of working on your mindset, money mindset in that way, so you are completely neutral and at peace with money, your money decisions, what you do with money, how you think about money, how you make money. It is so freeing and beneficial when you are on the intentional train and have an amazing relationship with money and know how to uplift your money mindset on purpose. So I hope you're going to join me for that. Alrighty, so my biggest money mistake and how you can avoid it. I talked about this a couple of episodes back about how last year was a doozy for me. And the reason why was because I was putting money above my health and well-being. And I wasn't fully conscious of it initially, obviously. And it was diabolical. It had an awful effect on my health and well-being and my mental health. And I don't think I'm alone. I think people do this frequently, especially people who work for other people, because one of the beautiful things when you run your own business is that you actually have the capacity to be able to make decisions about when you take time off, right? You don't have to ask permission from somebody else, although many business owners work extremely hard, right? I know you know. But one of the things that I think that a lot of people do unintentionally is constantly put money ahead of their health and well-being. It's like, oh, you feel unwell, but you still go to work, right? You got to soldier on, you got to put the bacon on the table, so to speak. And I don't want you to have to learn the hard way. I'd really like you to be able to learn about this from my experience. And so today there's some indicators that I want to point out to you, like what you can look out for, and also some questions that you can ask yourself. So basically, first of all, some big red flags if you are putting money before your health and well-being is just noticing, like, are you unwell, right? Like, do you feel tired? Are you struggling with your mental health? Like, are you getting irritable at your kids or your partner or the people around you? Are you having really big mood swings up and down? Are you struggling to do things that you used to find really easy, or relatively easy? Now suddenly they become more difficult. That is a sign that you could possibly be putting money before your health and well-being if you're finding that you actually are having health and well-being issues, but you're continuing to just, power forward. And, we've all been there when we're just running on adrenaline, right? It's like go, 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 and you're disconnected in many ways from your body. It's like you're a head floating around, but actually, you're really suffering and you're exhausted, 24/7. These are for sure some signs that you are putting money before your health and well-being. So one of the things that really was helpful to me is asking the question, what do you need right now? Right? So to take care of your health and well-being, what is it that you actually need right now? Like, take a moment to answer that question. Maybe it's sleep, right? Maybe it's nutrition. Maybe it's a better relationship. Maybe you're having conflict with your teenage daughter, or, maybe you need to make some changes in your work-life balance, right? Maybe you're working really long hours and you need to make some changes there. Maybe you need some movement. You're not moving your body enough. Or do you need some more time in nature? Like just getting out in nature and being able to see the horizon, not being so like boxed in your head, with that tension in your forehead, like when you've been looking at a screen all day. Maybe it's more time with your family. Maybe it's mental health support. Like, what is it that you actually need? And you might need help to answer this question. So last year I was seeing a business coach that was part of a program that was about mental health and well-being for sole business owners. And a lot of people who get this support, do this program, are people who are experiencing depression or difficulty being a small business owner. And, I was speaking to the coach and I was like, I just don't know what's going on. Like, am I depressed? Blah, blah, like asking all these questions. And, and she, over the course of time that I was with her and how I described my days and what I was doing and what was going on. And she just said, look, most of the people who come in on this program who have depression, and we would be supporting them to do the things that you're already doing. She said, she was like, you're already going out and exercising. You're already trying to eat the right foods. And, and she said, and I bet that if you could do more work, you would, right? And I was like, 100%. But I was really struggling and I was finding it really difficult to work and concentrate on what I was doing because I was suffering so much from my health. And it was just like this one question she asked me, and this is why I really encourage you to seek support, like whether that's from a medical professional or a coach or somebody else who's got an outside perspective, because she just asked me the simplest question. She was like, have you thought about pursuing the like going down the route of maybe, you have a health issue. And honestly, that had not even occurred to me. Like I was just so busy powering through, trying to get all my work done and not understanding why I was finding it difficult to get all my work done in a day and just feeling exhausted all the time and not motivated. And that was the catalyst for huge change, because then I went and saw my GP, and then I engaged with a nutritionalist and completely changed my diet. And basically, like, it was a health issue, right? And like I'd spent months thinking that, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Maybe I've got depression, because I just couldn't. And I mean, I think I was depressed, right? Because my health was so bad. But it was only that I discovered that I needed that additional support with my nutrition and health, because I actually had an outside perspective looking in on me, asking really high quality questions. So you might not be able to identify what you actually need without support, but often we can identify the very basic needs that we need. I don't know how many times with clients I've been on calls with them and they've been stressed out about something that's been happening with, one of their clients or their staff members or something like that. And then I've said, okay, well, what do you need right now? And honest to goodness, sometimes the answer is, you know what? I actually just need a glass of water. I'm really hot. I'm thirsty. I haven't had lunch. I need a glass of water and I need a meal. And I know that sounds so simple, but sometimes we get our heads so far up our ass around like what we're supposed to be doing with work and, this sort of go, 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 busy, busy, busy mentality that we lose sight of these basic needs of what we need, right? Like, actually, I just need a glass of water and a meal. Right? Like, it's amazing how much that can solve. Or a good night's sleep. I actually need to get in bed with enough time to be able to have 8 hours sleep or whatever it is that you require, right? So if these things are missing in your life, so what I went through before, like talking about like what is it that you need? Maybe it's nutrition, maybe it's a different work-life balance, maybe it's movement, time with family, mental health support. I want to also add that if these things are missing in your life, I want you to also ask yourself the question, do you like your reasons? And just bear with me for a minute, because sometimes we're making money at the expense of our health and well-being because of a real necessity. Like sometimes we have times in our life where, and I don't want you to shame yourself, this is why I'm bringing this up, is that sometimes you have to work fucking hard. Like sometimes that just happens. Like partner loses their job or circumstances change. We're all so aware of that. Like when COVID happened, like how many changes happened in terms of finance, and sometimes there's things outside of your control that affect your health and well-being, and where you're actually making a conscious choice to put money before your health and well-being because it's about a survival thing, right? Like actually you need money on the table because you need that money for rent or food or petrol. Now, that's a conscious choice that you can choose to make. I for sure have had times in my life where I've worked my butt off and worked myself into the ground, but it's been from a real place of intention and hustle, and it's like, we're going to get this done, right? Because it's been a priority. And so I don't want to dismiss that if that is a stage in your life that you're in right now, that maybe you do need to just put your head down and bum up, and maybe you don't have as much time to put into your health and well-being because you're urgently getting things in place to survive, right? And that is a thing. sometimes we can't thrive or have a great health or well-being because we are facing real life challenges, poverty, relationship breakdowns. And yeah, I just really want to flag that and highlight that might be something that you're going through. And if that is, that sucks ass. And I hope that you have the support. I hope you have avenues that you can go down to get the support that you need. But I don't want you listening to this thinking, oh my gosh, like I can't put my health and well-being right now in front of money because I've just got to do these things to get through right now, right? I see you, I hear you, and I think that there's a place for that. And so I just wanted to make mention of that. But at the same time, I know of many women personally who are very well off, and yet they are still putting money above their well-being because this is all they have ever known, right? Like if all you've ever known is work, busy, you've had a corporate job and then you've had kids and then you're just like go, you can get into a habit of that's the way you run your life, and even though you don't actually have to run your life at that speed, you're still going at that speed and you're still pushing yourself because of practice and conditioning of being that way. And that takes a real conscious effort to create awareness around, hang on a minute, why am I busting my ovaries to do this when I don't need to? Like maybe I need to step back a bit. Maybe I need to slow down. Maybe I don't need to stay up until 12 o'clock at night working on client files, and what's actually more important is getting some sleep. Because when you're in that kind of go mentality, there's nothing wrong with that in the sense that sometimes we do that because we intentionally choose it. But where I'm pointing this out to you is when you're doing it and you're not actually choosing it intentionally. It's more like you're on default mode and you don't even know how to slow down and look after yourself, right? That's something that I want to encourage you to have a look at as well, especially if all your basic needs are met, you have money coming in regularly, you're making money, partner's making money, maybe you've got investments, you've got the house. Like, why are you working yourself into the ground and, trying to scale or trying to make more money if it is at the expense of your health and well-being? Like, just take a moment and contemplate that, okay? My final couple of points about this is that if you're feeling really overwhelmed, I encourage you to start small. And when you go back to that question of what do I need right now, focus on something really small. For example, what I did last year is the very first thing I just started doing was focusing on just drinking 2 liters of water a day. Like, I just felt like that was an achievable one thing that I could do that was measurable, that was something that I could achieve that didn't feel overwhelming. It's like, okay, all right, I know I need to look after my nutrition more. Like when I started seeing the nutritionist, I'm definitely not drinking enough water. Okay, I can easily go and buy myself a 1 liter bottle of water and water bottle and then fill that up twice a day and just make sure I'm hydrated enough, right? Like that's step one. And then it was kind of like, okay, now I'm going to make sure I'm getting to bed on time. And I set an alarm for when I had to go to bed. I'm not even joking. I don't even have an alarm that goes off in the morning. I have an alarm that goes off at nighttime that tells me to go to bed. So just like really small baby steps, and then you can get the momentum going. And then basically I completely changed my diet and I really reassessed everything that I was doing in my business and my life. And, that's why I had that huge break from the podcast, because I just realized, oh my gosh, I need to prioritize my health and well-being. Because once you've flipped over that edge and that you are putting money ahead of your health and well-being, it's almost like until you stop and reset, you're kind of like running on empty, right? And it doesn't matter how fast you run, it's just like there's never any gas, there's never any juice there, and you just continue to run on empty. But once you start to look after yourself, you can expand on that, and then you get momentum going. And then as you take more care of yourself, then you're in a position to be able to create more money, as you're in a position to create more opportunities and follow through on them, because you're healthy and energized, not exhausted and burnt out. And just on a final note, I will tell you that it is no joke slowing down and looking after yourself in the beginning if you have not been doing that. Some of last year, what was so painful for me was really releasing the judgment on not producing a podcast every week and scaling back my business, not marketing my business, scaling back things that I was doing, like having naps, sleeping more, not getting up early to do things. And, that because there was so much judgment and negative self-talk about, oh, you're just so lazy. And it's like, hang on a minute, when I describe to other people what my days look like and the things that I was doing so much stuff, but I was giving myself such a hard time and just not allowing myself to stop and rest. And that's still something that I'm working on, is being okay with actually resting before I'm a blubbering mess. It's like not resting because I'm so far gone, so burnt out that I'm actually physically not capable of doing anything. It's like resting before I get to that point. And that is a huge learning curve for me that I'm still working on. So I'm just giving you the heads up that can be challenging at first when you start shifting that balance from, putting money above your health and well-being, and then starting to come back to this place where you're putting your health and well-being above money and success in quotation marks. Because the funny thing is once you actually start really putting proactive, present attention on your health and well-being, it's amazing the flow-on effect that has in the rest of your life. So don't be like me. Don't do the biggest money mistake I have ever made in terms of putting money ahead of my health and well-being, because it will wreck you and it leads to burnout and having a really miserable life. And I don't encourage it at all. And I don't want that for you. So check in with yourself this week. How are you feeling? What do you need? And then please, for goodness sake, listen to your answers and then act on them and actually give yourself what you need, and start treating yourself like the beautiful queen goddess that you are, and look after that precious body of yours and look after that precious mental health of yours, because without your health, you got nothing, right? Health is wealth. All right, we'll leave it there. Until I get in your ears again, have an amazing week. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the Money Mindful podcast. For future episodes, be sure to subscribe. Ready to take the next steps? Creating your money and life goals can be super challenging if you don't have a process to follow. Get my free course that will help you get unstuck, clarify your goals, and get you going. For more info, go to meaghanjsmith.au.